So here's the news. The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse over the deadly Wisconsin shootings slated to begin November 1st and last up to 2 weeks. So we're getting there. This is an update, but there's there's going to be riots.
Dude.
They're going to burn buildings down. Kyle Rittenhouse will get life in prison. I don't know for sure.
You said it. You were so confident when you said it.
But
It's going to happen. I don't know.
I said Kyle Rittenhouse will get life in prison. I don't know for sure.
Why do you think that? Do you think the media manipulation will push it to
Because
happen
regular
again?
people, unfortunately, too many of them are cowards.
That's like the nature of humanity.
Even
What's up with
during
that?
the revolution, a
All
large
through history.
portion, the plurality,
The plebeians.
opposed
They called
the
them
revolution.
plebeians, like the lesser informed,
Plebes.
animal bodies that till the fields and carry the rocks for you. And
That's why you have a Republican government. That's why democracy, as
Doesn't
defined by just mob rule, doesn't work. And that's what we have right now.
Yes.
The Republic is gone.
So here's what's going to happen. They're going to do jury selection. So these people are going to be there, and they're going to be like, I don't want my house to burn down. I don't care about this kid. It's him or me. See, people used to have a sense of community and scruples, and they'd be like, I will not condemn this young man. I saw the evidence. Not anymore. I think it's possible we get a hung jury. Maybe one person just says, no way. I'm not locking that kid up for this. That's self-defense. But I think there's a stronger possibility like we saw in Minneapolis. Come on. You had that lady who straight up said, I couldn't go through the riots. I didn't want to go through the riots again. They had to escort the jurors in the Chauvin trial into the building under armed guard with like SWAT team rifles because of the riots. These people knew exactly what they were doing. They said, I don't care. Lock them up. I'm not taking this one.
Totally.
You think the jurors in Rittenhouse are gonna disagree? They're gonna save their own butts.
Does that open that up to appeal, I believe?
There's a bunch of grounds for appeal for Chauvin, but
Yeah.
what does it really do? Grant him a new trial? Maybe. I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
we had Andrew Bronk on, we've had other legal experts, and they've just said it's not going to.
Dude, I watched Rittenhouse as live as you could possibly watch it without being there. Brandon G. and a few other guys, they were on the ground.
Richie,
But dude, I watched it as live as you could without being there. It seemed completely obvious to me.
We've had, I think, the entire riot squad crew that was on the ground here at different times talking about what happened. One of the biggest clips we've ever done was Richie McGinnis, the journalist who actually rendered aid to one of the guys who got shot, telling his story. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I've heard witness testimony. I've watched all the footage. Oh, dude, clearly self-defense. But hold on. It's not just about Rittenhouse. Check this out. I got another story for you. You're going to love this one.
I'm going to love it, I bet.
Elizabeth City police arrest woman accused of striking 2 protesters with her car. She's being charged with assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill.
Wow.
So she was taken to Albemarle District Jail with a $40,000 secured bond. Her first court appearance is the 27th. They say they responded to a call around 6:45 p.m. She struck people with her car. I watched the video. She was going about a mile or 2 miles an hour. She was driving through an intersection when the Black Lives Matter group started banging on her car. She then slowly drove through, and one of the Black Lives Matter protesters fell over and injured her leg. This woman was now arrested and charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill by use of, I'll read it, 2 counts of felony assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill by the use of a motor vehicle. 1 count of careless and reckless, and 1 count of unsafe movement. Remember Provo, Utah? Provo, Utah was where somebody was driving down the street and a group of Black Lives Matter extremists ran up and one person pulled out a gun and shot the driver.
Dude, if a car's driving down the road and you run towards its side and throw yourself into the side of the car,
banging on it,
and fall down and hurt yourself, you can sue them.
No, not anymore. The woke have taken over. Kyle Rittenhouse.
No. As the person that throws yourself into the car, you can sue the driver of the car.
It used to be that way, but not if the person is a Black Lives Matter protester. This woman has felony charges too, because
he's saying sue the driver.
I'm saying you as the pedestrian, if you throw yourself into a moving car from the side, you can sue the driver for hitting you.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So in DC, and maybe it's like this in other places too, people walk out into the street as an act of defiance and an expression of power, jaywalking. right?
Yeah.
Like, they won't go to the crosswalks. They'll deliberately walk very slowly across the street, strutting, looking at you, making you stop your car with their eyes in the middle of the street, right? And I don't like that very much. So one day I thought, let me look up the law on this, right? If a pedestrian is in the middle of your way to drive, you are obligated to avoid that pedestrian at all costs. Yep. That's the law, right? If they jump out into the street, you have to try to avoid them no matter what. Even if they're wrong, even if they're committing a crime, even if it's a violation, even if you're totally right, that's the law. I looked it up because I wanted to know.
Yeah, no.
Because I wanted to know. It seems to me this is absurd use of that idea.
They attacked the car.
Yeah.
This woman was physically attacked. Fortunately, she was safe in her vehicle. In the video, I've watched it. A mile an hour, 2 miles, just slowly creeping forward.
Yeah,
That's it.
Idling.
Yeah. I really doubt her foot was on the gas at all, how slow she was going. And they were jumping up and down and banging on the car, as we've seen. Now she's got 2 felony charges. I warned this is going to happen. How many times have I said this? I love it. There's like the left likes to take select political moments, like Tim's predictions are all wrong, and it's like I got a whole bunch, and you know it, Jack, where it's like we were right about this. Oh, yeah. I said 2 years ago. Yeah. It's only a matter of time before the police are like, it's easier just to arrest the victim than deal with a mob. Yeah. So now you have a woman who is attacked in her car, fortunately safe, protected by her car, who tried escaping from a violent group of people banging on her vehicle, and the cops said, "I'll just arrest the driver." Why am I going to support the cops? I'm sick of this. You know, people saying defend the police. Nah, sorry, I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to defend anybody because this is what they do. They seize your guns. They take away your right to defend yourself. They arrest you in your own home. And then you get Kyle Rittenhouse going to jail. You get the McCloskeys getting arrested and getting their guns confiscated. You get the guys at Attila's gym, the people who are going in, getting arrested by the cops. And all of these conservatives like, well, it's not the cops' fault. Whose fault do you think it is? Who literally went and arrested this woman and put her in jail? The DA? No. The DA sat in office having no idea what's going on. The cops showed up and said, we choose to imprison this woman for trying to flee a violent mob of extremists. Keep supporting those people. And then when you're locked up next, I won't defend you. I'll say, well, you like it. If the cops come in, if you are walking down the street, minding your own business, and BLM comes and beats the crap out of you and the cops arrest you, I'm going to be like, but you wanted that. You support the police.
What jurisdiction was this with the car?
This is Elizabeth City, North Carolina, where the riots are. Exactly. So the police have decided, because of the Andrew Brown shooting, they are going to arrest the victims of violent crime because it is easier than dealing with the mob. By all means, keep back in the blue all day and night. And when you end up in jail because you were beaten up by BLM, I'll say, but you support the police. Aren't you happy that they've locked you up in their facility? It's what you wanted, isn't it? Oh, I know they're letting Black Lives Matter go. They're letting them throw bricks through windows and beat pedestrians and smash windows. But you support the cops' actions.
People don't even know, right? I think there was some research that just came out about Democrats' awareness of Antifa. None.
Yep.
No awareness.
Oh, this is fantastic. See, I covered a couple stories this morning. And on one of my earlier segments, are you familiar with Ground News?
No.
So Ground.News, they sponsored one of my earlier segments, and it's really a great service. This is not a sponsor spot, by the way, but I did do a promo spot for them before. They show you the amount of left-wing and right-wing outlets reporting on the story. So you look at an Antifa story, and what do you get? You get every right-wing outlet covering it, and then they'll say left-wing, and they'll be like 1. And then far left, 0. So, of course, the left and these progressives have no idea it exists.
They have no idea. I remember on the eve of the inauguration and stuff, or Jan 6, actually, maybe like the week leading up to that in D.C., they were boarding up the buildings again. And I went on Facebook to talk to a couple of my old friends. It's a dumb thing, of course, every time. I tried to explain to them that the city had been boarded up since May 27th, and they had no idea. People that live in the city that maybe don't just come downtown, that just go suburb to suburb or the outer part of the city or whatever. They had no idea that there had been riots all summer long. Wow. Burning buildings, multiple alarm fires, hundreds of assaults and felonies and loot. I was 5 feet away from people looting, and they just have zero, nada knowledge or understanding. So when I come on Facebook and I'm like, actually, guys, it's because these BLM Antifa folks have been rioting all summer. They're like, you're an idiot, you're an ass, you're blah, 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 you're the worst person in the whole world. And they unfriend me and they get all mad because you challenge what they believe to be their like perception of reality. This is the biggest problem. Is how do we get people to let go of their ego invested sense of reality that they've actually fortified with mainstream commercial news? They have no idea whether they're trusted or not. It just passively goes in their brain. They believe it. I'm anti-racist. I'm not a racist. It's all a perfect storm of trained ignorance, reliance on institutions that are no longer trustworthy or valuable, and then an impossible task of dislodging this fake reality out of people's minds. And when you try to, you look like the bad guy to them.
Let me show you this from Ground News. This is really interesting. I pulled up the story about the woman in Elizabeth City hitting the protesters with her car. Now, which do you think it's left or right reporting the story about the woman hitting protesters?
It's definitely the left, and it's definitely framed as a vehicular assault. And all
You are correct, but it's not the far left. It's just center to center left and left sources that are reporting this. The Daily Caller was the only right-wing outlet to report this, which I find interesting because typically the right does report on these things, but they frame it very differently.
Yeah.
So what happens? Lefty people, liberals, will open the news and go, "Oh, these people are hitting the protesters. These peaceful protesters are being run over." Huh? So here's what I did. I went to Ground News and I searched for Antifa. Surprise, surprise. All of the immediate links that pop up when you search for Antifa on Ground News, right-wing source, right-wing source, right-wing source, right-wing source, 100% right-wing, 100% right-wing, 100% right-wing. I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah, Antifa's not real. Everything's normal.
This is why you see lefties and progressives saying Antifa is just an idea. It's why you get these politicians who are completely dumbfounded and don't understand what's going on.
But, this is not a winning thing. Look, dudes, people. I was doxxed by a woman who claimed to be Antifa, who had a flag, an Antifa flag, on her banner from Twitter, who led Antifa meetings, who deliberately organized the whole operation to dox and get me fired. And I explained this to people. They're like, "Oh, well, I knew you were out of work. Oh, I knew you were having trouble. Oh, but Antifa is just not, just keep it. No, they put a gun to my head. They got me fired. Yes. They ruined my life, literally, for a short period of time. Destroyed my reputation.
Bro, but you Bruce Lee'd it.
You
took their energy, Jeet Kune Do,
which again, if you
turn it back on them.
If you do that, then it also means you didn't get canceled and it's not a real thing and there was no negative side effect for that. But it's like these are people that have known me my whole life, that have been to my wedding, that know my children. And yet I tell them, like, this is my personal, real life experience. I was there. I saw it. They doxed me. This flag doesn't.
Did you tell them with text?
In person, man.
Oh, wow.
In person.
And what was their response?
This is just this like opaque, like film of confusion and disbelief. They can't process it. Yeah. Because if I'm right, that means everyone else is wrong. And if everyone else is wrong, then maybe everything else is wrong as well.
Do you guys remember that photo where all the people are doing the Roman salute, the Nazi salute, and one guy is just all frumpy like, "Nah." Yeah, so that's us. We're the frumpy people saying, "I will not salute."
Frumpy.
And those people are the ones doing the red salute marching through the street.
100%.
They're literally doing what's called the red salute.
had-
Google the red salute. Look it up.
Yeah,
the Black Lives Matter symbol is the red salute. It is the communist symbol. The Nazis may have been beaten, but the communists weren't.
Yeah. I had a conversation with my son just the other night. He's 14 years old, and he's feeling a lot of peer pressure to do certain medical procedures that we probably don't want to talk about here. And I told him, son, it's lonely doing the right thing. It's lonely standing up. And when you're 14, it's really hard to do that. Especially when you're getting pressure from your parents, not me, family, relatives, cousins, people in your neighborhood, your sports coaches, your teachers at school, the parents of your friends. Very difficult to stand up and do the right thing. I'm very proud of him. He's told me before about how in the morning, during the Pledge of Allegiance, everybody in class just talks and doesn't do it and doesn't pay attention. He stands up. He says he's the only one that stands up every day for it. And so I know it's inside of him, but I know that he's struggling right now because it's really hard. It's really hard to stand up and do what's right when everyone around you is doing something wrong and thinks that they're doing something right, and they're telling you that you're wrong and that you're stupid and that you're evil and you're going to die. You're going to die if you don't do this thing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.